All right.
Yeah, man. So I was looking at your info provided for here. I know we worked together last month as well. Looks like your main struggles coming into this one are more about awareness of overall situations happening on the map and
Mm-hmm.
identify the type of gameplay I should be enabling. And then we were talking about moving your camera around generally more as a support. One thing I've
Yeah,
done as
since
a
last
go ahead.
time, yeah, yeah, since last time, I mean the one thing because you were like, let's focus on one thing, and that was the thing, like moving my camera around, like paying attention to what's happening in the other lanes and so on. I think I have that pretty much nailed down. It's not something that I never did. It's more like a habit that I had and then lost.
Hmm.
So now it's like I think it's pretty well integrated. I mean, for the most part, there's obviously moments where I should be looking at that thing, or like my multitasking might not be the best. But for the most part, I am paying attention to fights and things in other lanes. The
Okay.
problem now is that I have all of this information,
Hmm.
so my decision tree is kind of like I would say like 60% there, like in the right place. But there's some situations where I'm like, should I go there? Should I support this person? Should I be farming? Should I, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah, I got you. Okay. Um, so real quick, remind me. I'm trying to get more organized about this stuff. But what is your main hero, or like what hero are we working on today? Like, what is the replay you have for
Witch Doctor.
Witch Doctor? Okay,
So last time I was doing Hoodwink main
I
for the
remember
most
that.
part.
Yeah.
I figure that it's a pretty cool hero. I really like it, but it's also very like it's hard to play with people that don't know how to play around it. So I went and I also went like listened to what you were saying. Like let's do less and focus more on certain things. So like Witch Doctor is simple enough and people know how to play around it. That I find
Hmm.
it easier to play in pubs.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, that's a good. I think that's a heads up takeaway for you in terms of applying that. So if you want to go ahead and send me that replay ID, there's a little speech bubble in the top right hand corner of this private chat room we're in. If you want to send me the
Yeah,
replay ID there, we
the
can check out the Witch
the
Doctor
chat
game.
of the voice chat. I have two options. I can do one that I did just like an hour ago, uh, or maybe less actually, or one that I did on the 14th. In both of them, I won. I do feel like the concepts that you or we were talking about last time are applied there, but also it's good material to like ask the questions that I want to get answers to.
Yeah, we can probably get to
Like,
both. We
okay,
if you feel
I'm
like
gonna
they're
send both
equally
anyway.
okay. If you feel like they're
Yeah.
equally important, we can kind of make sure we get 30 minutes on the first one, 30 minutes on the second one. Maybe about halfway through, I'll check in to see if you'd like to keep looking at this replay or go to the next one. That's what we'll do.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to post it on the chat of the voice channel, but
Oh, is it
it's
not
telling
letting
me
you?
messages. Yeah, messages failed to load. So,
Okay.
DM is okay.
Yeah, go ahead and DM me. Sorry about that.
So this is the most recent one. This is from the 14th. Why is it not copying? Okay.
You want me
Yeah,
to watch the
those
most
two.
recent one first or the one for the 14th
Yeah, maybe
first?
let's go with the most recent one because it's pretty
Okay.
fresh and I do remember most of it.
Okay.
And I
You,
wasn't looking at your stream.
you
Now
see
I
the
am.
screen now? Okay.
Yep. So yeah, laning. I'm position 4. Laning went pretty good in my opinion. So yeah, in the early game, in the laning phase, I was a little bit behind on levels because I didn't pull as much because the Wyvern was trying to be very aggressive. So I was trying to keep her out by just like, maledicting or just hitting.
Hmm. Okay.
And at this point, I'm trying to check. Okay, is there anybody else that I could go help? Because I also saw that my gut feeling was that Wyvern was not really good. So I thought, okay, maybe Axe is gonna be fine pretty early.
Interestingly enough, so we're going to talk a lot about camera control today, but in the sense of I'm going to try, because I realized with all the students that I was working with last month that I I did not articulate to each individual what I think their reason for looking around the map needs to be, because so many of you were just not looking around enough at all. So, kind of the follow up I've been having with everybody recently has been, let's be very particular about your focus in the game at any given moment in the game. And
Hmm.
that's going to kind of evolve over the course of the game. And that's going to significantly affect your camera movement, right?
Hmm.
So um let's just talk about I'm actually gonna um camera like focus. I'm changing the notes here a little bit. Camera focus priorities throughout the game. So I
Hmm.
would say like minute 1 to 5. Um minute 1 to 5. Um 1 second. Uh, there's something happening. Okay. Um sorry, there was something happening there. Okay. Minute 1 to 5 or minute 0 to 5.
Hmm.
I'm actually curious. What would you say the number one focus of minute 0 to 5 for your camera in theory should be? Maybe minute 0 to 4.
I don't know about like where my camera should be because that for me is pretty circumstantial. Like if I, for example, here I'm very low in HP, so I don't want to lose like complete focus, but I am trying like overall trying to keep up with how are the other lanes doing? Like
Mm.
are we going to lose the laning phase or not, and how many lanes are we going to lose if so?
Okay.
And also like that's like on a global scale, and like more locally I would say where is the other support, are they pulling or not, and should I like what should I be doing right now?
Okay. Um let's focus on locally for now. So you said where is other support? What were your other things?
Like should I be, for example, are they pulling, should I like block the pull or do something about it?
Okay.
Is my axe, for example, chill, or do I need to like be behind him, stuff like that?
Gotcha. Okay. So the focus I have here is that the number one thing that matters to me in the first like 4 minutes is the late equilibrium. Not necessarily where it's going to be, like making sure it's where you want it, but literally what it's doing.
Mm.
So I would want you to be able to freeze frame at any given moment in the lane, and you'd be able to tell me if it's pushing into you or out toward away from you, and you'd be able to tell me how hard it's pushing in or out. So
Right.
like right now,
I
I
know.
would go ahead.
No, no, I know that in this particular case, the lane is pushing probably to their side because I did defensive aggro pull from their creeps because Axe was not doing it.
So are you saying it's pushing
Uh,
into your tower or into their
no, no,
tower?
into their tower. Oh yeah, I was wrong.
So the reason I'm actually pausing and emphasizing this is because the percentage of the lane that your camera has seen this is very low.
Hmm.
So I know I talked a lot about last time of moving your camera around a lot, but something I realized in the midst of teaching all of you guys is that the last thing we want to do is have you not looking at local things that matter a lot. So there's actually
Hmm.
like I would say camera movement needs to be first refined in the area that you currently are and then extended to other things. So for me,
Hmm.
like I guess the way I would look at it if I'm explaining it to you, you're talking about locally where's the other support, should I be blocking pull or like responding to what they're doing. So in my opinion, the answer to your question, it may be not exactly where's the other support, but what solves this, like most of these questions you're going to have in the lane, is what exactly is the lane equilibrium doing right now? It's not even a matter of what do I do, like what do I do with that or anything. It's like, is it pushing really hard into me? Is it pushing really hard into them? Is it about equal? And then from there, there's layers of like, what do we do with that? So it's like, if it's
Mhm.
pushing really hard into us, we kind of have to brace ourselves for them to pull small camp if that's available. We have to brace ourselves for potentially being dove if that's the case. Um, I'm just mentioning that there's like implications of everything that it's doing. But when you mentioned are they pulling and all that kind of stuff, this focus helps that. You see what I mean?
Mhm. Yep. Yeah,
Okay.
like it grows into that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think the sign of success here would be that you're able to tell me exactly what's happening with the lane right now. And I would want you to feel confident that you're being optimal with what's going on in the lane. Because for me right now, if you're near your tower, this guy can be getting harassed, right? Like that's what I'm thinking.
Mhm.
So like you're looking around the map, and the biggest problem with what I noticed when I was teaching people to look around the map is that they stopped doing things that are locally good, you know? Like
Mhm.
they're not paying attention as much to the lane equilibrium, they're not harassing the enemy guy as much as possible. So I'm 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 correcting, not because looking around the map is bad for you, but I'm trying to reset this process for you because the number one trigger, I'm just going to say this. The number one trigger for looking around the map is knowing there is nothing to look at on your local screen right now.
When you say trigger, what do you mean by that?
When I say the number one trigger is I'm fully aware of what I'm supposed to be looking at in lane, and
Mhm.
I know for a fact that I have all the information I need. Now I'm allowed to do this. So trigger means what is the circumstance that needs to
Ah,
happen.
okay. Yeah.
You
Mhm.
see?
Got it.
So yeah, is there a word you'd resonate better with that instead of trigger?
No, no,
Okay. Okay.
I understand now.
Cool. So that's like what's the indicator trigger? Yeah. So for me, the indicator trigger is that you are like, yep, I know exactly what the lane equilibrium is doing. I'm harassing this Abaddon. Great, he backed off. I'm gonna look around the map now.
Yeah.
You know, like you're
I mean,
confident.
at that point,
Yeah.
at that point, I was looking away because I was low HP, so I got a tango, and I thought, okay, I'm gonna pull back a little bit, and in the midst of doing that, I'm gonna check the other lane.
Everything you're
That was my
doing
reasoning.
makes sense. I guess my argument is, do you think you could be right here clicking this guy?
Well, I didn't feel confident in doing that because I was pretty low in HP, but probably because the lane is pretty much on our side, I would probably be able to do that.
Because if the lane's up here, you can't click him. But like when
Yeah,
the
and he's
lane's
also
right,
melee, and I'm ranged, so like I
yeah,
should be safe.
and you're underneath your tower range while you're hitting him.
Yeah.
So like yeah, so what I'm trying to say is like I see an opportunity for you to just be clicking this guy. And so I see
Yeah.
over passivity, and I see that like your argument for I'm low HP, but low HP means something very different when the lane's right here compared to the lane up here.
Yeah. True.
So what exactly is the lane equilibrium doing right now? Like the next step is, what does that mean for all of the other stuff I already know about Dota? So,
Mhm.
like, how does my HP bar affect this? Mana, pull camps, etc. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay,
Understood.
cool. So I'm just looking at this.
Well, my thinking for the most part here in this game was that Wyvern was always trying to go on Axe with her Q. So I was always trying to be aware of where she is, and whenever she was dead, I was like, okay, chill. But then when she was alive again, I was like, okay, where is she?
I see. All of that makes sense. Now, I'm going to give you very simple feedback here. And when I say that, I mean I'm going to be consistent. All I need to know right now for you to make the right decision is what's happening here.
Hmm.
Are they holding the lane outside a tower, or are they pulling it into tower? Big difference, right?
Hmm.
In terms of how that affects your guys' decisions. Because if they hold it outside of tower, that means the lane's going to sit right here, and you're going to have to fight them up here. If they let it into tower, that means that the lane's going to meet like back here.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
everything you're telling me that you're worried about matters, but you're not going to operate under the right principles in lane if you're not able to tell me what they're doing with the creeps at all times and what the creeps are doing at all times, because you don't know what's
Yeah.
coming next, basically.
Yeah. I guess, I mean, the reason I lost my habit of looking to other lanes to begin with was because I was constantly dying without looking at my character. Now I'm a little bit more flexible on that, but I'm
Yeah.
still a little bit afraid, especially when I'm low HP. Like I need to watch my character.
I see. I see. That makes sense.
Yeah, here this was on purpose because I knew Axe was gonna come back alive, and I thought I could hold it for a second there. Turned out Sniper showed up, and that kind of
Yeah.
fucked me up.
I mean, that's fine. It's a mid laner rotating and ganking. It's all good. I just want, this is for my own sake, I want to hear your impression of what I think needs to happen in the first 4 minutes for you of what I've said.
Pay attention to the lane equilibrium. Pay attention to what are they doing with the lane as well. Like, are they doing actively something to retain it or push it or whatever?
Okay.
Besides the other things that I already mentioned, like are
Yes.
they pulling or warding or
You're already
etc.
doing all that stuff on your own, so that's fine. Like, it sounds like that's the stuff you came in saying you were doing, the last part. So I'm good on that. I'm good on that stuff. You know, I trust that if you're already doing it, you know, that's your default. So yeah, okay. I just want to make sure we're on the same pitch, which we are. Gonna fast forward here. Oof.
Yeah, that was sad.
Hmm.
At this point, I was actually thinking I should rotate.
Yeah.
Definitely. I wasn't. Yeah, okay, so this is a very good example of what I was saying in the beginning of what my goal is. Like, I have all of this information. This for me was like a leap of faith. Like, I thought I should rotate, but I'm not sure about leaving Axe alone. So I just went with it and rotated anyway. But I was very hesitant to do it. Like, maybe I should stay because Wyvern is being pretty aggressive with Axe. I don't know if the guy is going to be able to, like, react to that or like not be too aggressive when I'm gone. I did ping that I was going bottom. So like this is an example of like I wasn't exactly sure that I should do it, but I did it anyway.
Hmm.
Are you saying something and I'm not
No,
hearing
I'm
you or
thinking.
okay.
Sorry. Um.
If it helps, like as a default, whenever I do as soon as I get the XP shrine, that's my trigger to okay, I need to rotate. Like I'm gonna get that, and that's the last thing I'm gonna do in lane, and I'm looking to rotate
I see. That makes
as a
sense.
default.
For me, I'm just gonna list off all my thoughts because I don't have a refined answer to your question. Okay, so I'm gonna list
Sure.
off all my thoughts. I asked myself, do we have any pressure potential here? Answer: no. Abaddon, level 6. Axe, not good matchup against Abaddon. He's level 5. He wouldn't ring a health, so he's doing like a sustained farming build. Second off, can we play to farm here? Is there anything efficient that I can do around here? And does he need my help in lane? The answer is almost always never. He needs my help in lane if the lane's back here somewhere. If the lane's up here, he might need my help in lane. Very rarely does the offlaner need my help if he's in the lane here. And even if he does need my help, could this guy just jungle based on his hero? Yes, he could. So I'm literally never staying here past 7 minutes. I probably would have been gone already. So that's my first thought. So then my next thought is when I'm watching you play this, this whole situation where you're staying top. I'm just wondering what you think you're doing here. Like, what are you defending your axe? Is what you're saying? Is that what you're trying to accomplish?
No, no, not at all. Like I left a ward just because I wanted him to have vision and not get like jumped from out of
Yeah.
nowhere. I pinged that I was gonna go bottom because I saw Rubik low HP and I thought, okay, maybe we can
Okay.
get him.
Absolutely.
And then I thought, okay, Axe is usually pretty good on farming, so like if he cannot farm the lane, he can go somewhere else. So like I'm
Okay.
gonna rotate anyway.
Okay. So for me, that means that from my perspective, what you just said, it's really obvious to rotate here. So I'm wondering why this goes against what you normally do, because you said that yourself.
Yeah, because I'm maybe this is one of those like insecurity things. Like I wasn't really sure because Wyvern was being pretty aggressive with Axe, and I know her Q can actually melt him if he's not aware of that. And it's 2v1 where he's like level 5, so I was like, maybe I should stay a little bit more until he gets 6 and then rotate.
I see. What does Axis 6 relevance to this situation?
That if he gets gone on by 2 people, he can at least get one, like finish up, for example, Wyvern instead of like
I don't
just
think he'll
die.
ever dunk anybody in that lane. If you want me to be honest, I don't think he ever kills anybody in that lane because Abaddon can shield the Wyvern and Wyvern can stay long range and she slows him and stuff. Like I don't think Axe 6 is like a significant level unless he's really strong in lane and he's like able to pressure where he can like now dive them better. But that's like not the lane he's in. He's like hard countered by Abaddon and behind in lane. So his level 6 means nothing to me.
Okay.
That's why I was asking you, is because to me it means nothing, and I wanted to hear. So for me, what you're saying, I would argue that doesn't happen in 99.9% of situations like this, where Axe lost his
Okay.
lane and it's like a defensive carry, and it's like an Omni or an Abaddon carry or like a Necro carry. Like they're not gonna die to Axe, unless there's like a 4-man ganger or something. So maybe Axis 6 would let me gank for that guy, but then I would want to leave so he gets the 6 early and then I can come back to him. Like that's how then I would view it. So none of these permutations lead to me staying with Axe. And that's why I was wondering about your decision, because I guess when somebody's getting 6, I would want to hear. I'm thinking about how to help this because I'm just thinking I would want to
No,
hear
I
exactly
get
how
it.
this plays out. Does that help you? What I just said?
No, it definitely helps. Like
Okay.
you're right. The like his ultimate doesn't really change the situation.
Okay.
Um,
Not all
yeah, I
6s
guess
are
I'm also
created
like
equal.
theorizing too many situations in my head at that point. Like it's not based on exact reality. It's more like this could happen or that could happen. Yeah.
Yeah, because you were thinking one thing I did get the gut impression when you said it, which I agree with what you just said, was there's like a lot of hypotheticals here that I'm like, those aren't gonna happen. So I myself, I'm not, I don't know if it's the exact same as anxiety, but like I struggle with anxiety, and that's like a hypothetical thing. So it sounds like you're worried about a lot of fires that haven't been lit yet.
Yep. Yep.
And we can't. It's not. I don't want to say we can't, but it's not helpful in Dota to think that way.
I understand.
It's. I think the first thing is. Let me think about this real quick. I think the major question is, does this person need me? Like, if I'm lying against Ursa Veno and I leave, then the Ursa's just gonna keep killing my axe, right? Like, because I'm responsible for like defending him. But the top lane in this case is very like defensive, and they could go on him, but like I don't really make that big of a difference there. So I guess I'm trying in my head to distinguish between like you're always going to be more than 0% useful, but like I always ask myself the question, I'd rather think, does he need me? Could he go jungle? Could he lane by himself? Can he like, does he have options? And if he doesn't need me, then the next question is, what plays elsewhere could be made? And so you'll get better at this over time. If I think you understand, like you play these situations out in your head, so I don't really have to help you with that. But I think if you follow up your, it sounds a bit convoluted, but like when you talk to me about your like what you're thinking about during the game, but if you just ground yourself, I think with a question of like, does this person need me? Then otherwise just leave. Because when you're thinking this way, that means you're probably not capable of being aggressive in the lane. Meaning, like, you're not going to think this way in, like, a lane that your axe is level 7 and he's level 5. You're thinking, how do we kill these guys? You know what I mean? Like, so this isn't a problem when you win your lane. So that's why I'm thinking, like, when you're losing your lane or when lane doesn't feel great, that's the trigger. Trigger for this. Because I think you can kind of tell there's not too much for me to do here, but I'm kind of worried about my axe. You know what I mean? That's what you said, kind of.
Yep.
So when you feel that way, does this person need me? Otherwise, what plays can be made? So I like that you went bottom here. And even if it's like against your own instinct and it took a little bit, I'd say it maybe took 20, 30 seconds longer than it needed to. I think it's still good that you did this. So I'm with you right now. Are we good? Are we good to this moment?
Yep.
Cool.
Yep.
So in this moment, what I place this ward for is I want to know what is the condition for this gank working. Can you?
Well, this is actually interesting because my thought originally was, okay, Undying is not there. We are gonna find Rubik. It turns out he was there.
Okay.
So now my plan sort of changed because originally I was actually thinking about extending from the Lotus to their lane and finding Rubik and then stun Maledict and then hopefully the other ones would join. Then I see Undying. I immediately think, okay, free kill. So I try to stun him. I miss the Maledict and then he runs away. So nothing happened.
Okay. Say you stun him right now, given what I just saw. What's the follow-up?
If I do stun him,
what'd you do?
I would first check if the other ones are joining. If they are, then I follow. I chase. Otherwise, I just
My
go
question is, why are you checking after stunning?
Because the stun is like sort of the initiation in my head.
Okay, so when I think of initiation, I have to think, what's the follow-up? Before I initiate, not after.
I mean, I did see that Lich was coming my way, so that I was certain of. I didn't know if Drow was going to join.
Do you know
Because
why you
without
don't know if Drow's
Drow-
going to join?
No, I don't know that.
Because you didn't check the lane equilibrium.
True. I didn't pay attention too much.
So she's got
to
creeps
that.
on her.
Yeah.
99% of carries actions are determined by creeps. So if you check creeps, you'll know what she's going to do. Like, most of the time.
Okay, that's good. I'm taking my own notes too.
So even during ganks / lane plays, knowing creeps helps you know what your core will be doing. So the reason why I mentioned this to you is like, what's the exact order of things? I'm going to describe to you what I think needs to happen. You guys have a lot of slows and like annoying lockdown, but it's not like you don't have Bane Nightmare where your carry can be 6 seconds away from you and connect. You guys need to all be there at the same time. So what I'm thinking is I need all 3 heroes here at the same time. I need to check where Drow is, see what the lane equilibrium's doing, call for him to come over after that creep, and then collapse on this guy as 3 people at the exact same time. And when I'm casting, Lich needs to be in range to pull him in with Frost Blast, and Drow needs to be hitting. That's my condition for killing this guy. And I'm saying I've crafted that, and I'm not saying that you need to be able to craft that right now, but when you go into a play, and if you're maybe not like super fluent at it right now, you know, you mentioned earlier, you're not like in the exact moment, you're kind of worried about a bunch of things. One way to draw attention to the moment is, how exactly is this supposed to work? Like, and be specific, like very specific. We all need to be going on him at the same time, or I can go 2 seconds early and they can connect. It's going to follow up with a Lich Frost Blast and a Drow hitting him, and he's going to get killed because of Maledict. And it's just, the point is 99% of the people I've coached, when I ask them how is this going to work, the vocabulary that most of us have is not extensive. Like, it's not that they don't know the words, but they don't nobody's really done this thought exercise of
Hmm.
how exactly does this work. So if I was you, I'd be like, I'm going to look to connect with my Drow and Lich, and I'm going to base it off of these creeps. And whoever we find here, whether it's Rubik or Undying, like I'm kind of just prepared for whatever. I'm more so thinking about the success scenario for us three rather than exactly who I'm going to find.
Hmm.
And then I try to create that scenario as best I can. Does that make sense?
No, it makes absolute sense.
Cool.
So, alternatively, what would you say? So, what I wanted to happen didn't happen.
Yeah.
So, should I just pull back and go back to my like? What would you have done alternatively?
So after this fails, you mean?
Yeah, after these fails.
Okay. So right now, let's check. We kind of have to like gather ourselves here. I would
What
probably
I ended
pull.
up
Yeah,
doing. Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
I would have done almost exactly what you did there, which was I'm going to go pull small. Oh, wait, Rubik just walked up. I'm going to go on him. I would have done this exact same thing
Okay.
because it looked like you were going to pull small.
Yeah, I wanted to. I I
Yeah. And then
I
you saw
wanted to
this
do
and
that,
reacted
but
to it.
yep, yep.
This all makes sense to me. I would have done the exact same thing. Drow was a bit slow, and that's fine. So now you're like, okay, I'm going to go back and. So then I'm wondering. So this is a moment where. Okay. This is a rule for everybody watching, not just you. Do
Hmm.
not TP unless you have already looked.
Well, what I saw there, not with my camera, but from the minimap, I saw the lane was pushing into our side, and that Axe was, uh, again, not enough information. But what I thought was
Oops.
happening was that he was getting gone on.
And so I understand that. What I'm trying to say to you, you already said it yourself, but I'm going to say it again, is last time, or you said it a bit yourself. I'm going to reemphasize what I said at the start of this coaching session. We talked a lot about moving your camera around. What I want to do today for you is to make it as clear as I possibly can to think what your number one priority is with the camera in regards to given game states and given decisions. So when you're
Right.
ganking for your carry or your offlaner, check creeps so you know what they're going to do. When you're laning, check creep equilibrium so you know if there's going to be a pull, if there's going to be pushing into your tower, if you need to be defensive, aggressive. And if you're going to TP, you must look first.
Hmm.
It's like, for me, I'm trying to simplify it in a way that I also think is very impactful. Like, meaning, like, I think your TPs will be 10 times more likely to be correct if you look there first. The odds of you being 1 second late because you didn't look versus the amount of times, or because you did look, like you were 1 second late because you took the time to look,
Hmm.
versus the amount of times that you're TPing like this and the enemy just walked away. Like now, like nothing's happening. You know what I mean?
Hmm. Yep.
That's what we want to avoid happening. Because like for me, I'm like, oh, maybe you can still make a play down here, or maybe you TP mid and get this XP. But now we're just like very limited on our decision. We're kind of just like here now, and it's like, huh. Luckily, Invoker killed the guy.
Yep.
Nice rotation from him, but even then, it is awkward. What if I'm giving you my personal diagnosis? You're like very disaster averse. Like
Yes.
you're like quick to pull the trigger on like anything that you're worried about going wrong. Would you say that's correct?
So
Okay.
yeah, it is very correct, and it comes from like I went from a losing streak last year, where
Mm.
most of my games were being lost because I I'm kind of restoring that, but I kind of lost faith on my team. So like I'm usually of the idea is that like if I'm not there, they're gonna die. So I
Okay.
become more like a protector in that way. Like I wanna be there so that at least there's no reason for them to either not pull back or at least not win the fight or something like that. So like when I see my axe alone, like even though I'm here bottom, my constant thinking is like I need to go back top at some point. So then I see the lane pushing in. I think okay, maybe I should go there and like help. So like very disaster averse, as you said. Like I don't want to lose the game because we lost the laning phase. That's kind of my chain of thinking
I
here.
see. Give me a second here.
To be honest, like my most of this worry about the laning phase is because I also think that if my axe has a strong laning phase, then probably the mid and the late game is gonna fall on their own. So as the game progresses, I'm becoming less disaster averse, but I'm hyper focused on the laning phase usually.
What I know right now is this is not serving you, is what I know for sure. I'm trying to not just tell you that, and I'm trying to figure out a way to help explain it, because it's not like that simple. When somebody is struggling, okay, when I can't trust somebody, when I'm trying to have maximum impact, I try to find people that I think will piggyback off of my impact. Like in real life, for instance, if I'm wanting to do a good job, I'm going to find people that I also think will do a good job. I'm not going to spend time trying to babysit or teach the people who I don't think do a good job. Like that's not how I'm going to behave at work. That's not going to lead to like the optimal output. Do you know what I mean by that?
Yep. Very,
So
very closely.
so what I'm trying to say is, in my opinion, you're doing the latter right now, but in Dota.
Mm.
You're trying to basically babysit the guy you don't trust versus looking for opportunities that are beneficial and then capitalizing on them.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yep. And it's a good pointer. I'm writing it down.
Yeah, so I just want you to think that the less you trust somebody on your team, the less they should factor into your decisions. Like, and it's important to do our best to not go into games distrusting of our teammates based on previous teammates. Like, if you literally just played with this guy, that's different. But like, say you don't trust your axe because your last axe sucked. Like, people do that all the time, right? Like, subconsciously, we'll just be like, the last time I had a guy on my team play carry Drow, he went 0-10. I fucking hate when carry Drow's on my team. Like, people do that all the time, you know? And so I try to make sure people do their best to avoid doing that. But we want to be able to look at the game we're currently playing. Like, the ideal, it's much easier said than done. We want to be able to look at the game we're currently playing and just say, how's these guys doing? Like, in this game so far, it didn't seem like Axe made any egregious mistakes. I trust this guy to not overextend, be over-aggressive, and feed based on what he was doing. It's not because he never died, but when I was watching your lane, he wasn't doing anything crazy. You know, like, sometimes you just have people that just go, 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 and they clearly are going to, like, run in and die a bunch. You know what I mean? Because they display that to you. I feel like your Invoker's playing a team game. Like, that's what I've noticed so far. He's, like, running around the map, ganking for people and stuff. He responded when you guys got gone on top. He TP'd a second time top. So this guy's playing a team game. He's not, like, doing his own thing. It's like, if I see this guy with a Midas literally killing mid-wave, killing these two camps every minute, like, I know who he is. Like, I know what he's going to do. You know what I mean? Your Drow and Lich seemed willing to help you with the ganks. Your Lich was even a bit proactive here. Like, I'm trying to be, as best I can, objective about what I'm seeing in the game. Like, just based on the action. Like, this is my evaluation of their actions, but, like, I'm trying to go based off of, like, nothing more than I don't have any emotional investment in this game. It's just, this is what these guys are doing.
Yeah. No, it makes sense.
And so we all have, like, it's not that easy. Like, we all have our own emotional investments in the game. And the biggest problem is when previous games carry over to the current game. And so your behavior is something that I would identify in the category of carrying over from previous games. We all do it. And I just try to draw attention to the fact that every time when I see you overly cautiously TP for this axe, I'm thinking about, maybe you could have helped Invoker when he got gone on mid. Maybe you guys could have gotten a kill bottom. Like, these are two potential opportunities that are gone now. Maybe they wouldn't have happened, but they're gone now.
I'm not looking for a specific answer, but like that's exactly what I mean with what I said in the beginning. Like my decision tree is kind of like when it's very obvious what I should be doing, I do it. But in most cases, it's not. So like at that point, I just go with my own defaults, and in this case, my default was like stay with your offlaner,
That
if
makes
that makes
sense.
sense.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So right now, your default is to stay with offlaner, and I would also say to avert disaster
Mm-hmm.
and
Yep.
generally defensive slash disaster aversion.
Yeah.
So I think the number one there's two actionable things I want to say to you now. When in doubt, do nothing. Do
Meaning like observe and like
Yeah,
I
do a
identify what to do.
very small thing. Actually, I'm going to say this. When in doubt, do a very small efficiency thing near you. Pull a camp, stack a camp, get a bounty, go ward, stuff like this. So if you have this feeling like you just said where you're not sure what to do next in the game, what I'm seeing right now is that you're too quick you want something to do in the game. Do you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? So you're like,
Yeah.
oh, there's something, and then you TP.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'm trying to show that by having that, like, I wouldn't say it's impulsiveness, but having that like kind of jittery reaction, that you're gonna miss future opportunities because sometimes there just isn't anything to do right now, especially as
Mm-hmm.
support. Because in the early to mid game as support, there's just times where there's nothing to do. So
Mm-hmm.
that's why it's so important to like pull camps, stack camps, get a bounty, go ward. Like, do you see what I mean by like when in doubt, just do something small?
Yeah, no,
Okay.
I think I already understood your concept. Like,
Okay.
it's less about doing nothing and more like waiting for the right opportunity to show
Yeah.
instead of just doing something that like removes that opportunity altogether.
Yeah. So one thing I love about this is that when you're doing that something small, like, so let's rewind for a second. These are the moments when you're doing something small because you have no idea what else to do. Those are fantastic times to just look everywhere. Like,
Mm.
gather all of the information. So it's like, what I love about like small things is like, if I'm you, I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna like go pick up this bounty rune now and like sentry this area. That's like what I'm thinking right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm gonna do. That's like a small thing. Another small thing you could do is look to just pull this small camp in 15 seconds. Like, that would suffice. I think like the
Mm-hmm.
bounty rune plus sentry is better, but like, I'm not too fixated on what you end up choosing to do. But then during that time, so say you're waiting 10 seconds to pull the camp, say you're you're like, I'm gonna go get the bounty, and you just like, I want you to move your camera, right click right here, and then spend the entire time you're walking over there, doing this, doing this. So
Mm.
rather than looking for specific information, just know because you don't know what to do in the game, there has to be something you learn between now and then for you to know what to do in the game, right? Like that's just like
Yeah.
that kind of just follows logically. So the last thing we want you to do is feel, which makes sense honestly, is to feel bad that there's no obvious thing to do right now. We don't.
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
one of my problems. Like sometimes I feel bad at not doing anything. Like
Yeah.
there is this feeling of like I should be doing something. I just because I don't know what, I'm just gonna do whatever. Yeah. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
but you're right. I get it. I get it.
Reminder from BSJ. Sometimes there is nothing to do.
Yeah,
That's in
it's
the notes
okay.
in all
Yeah.
bold. I'm bolding that with caps. I think that's a big one for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So obviously we've been spending a lot on the lanes, but I think this is all going to be very
No, it's
beneficial
good.
for
It's
you.
good. I mean,
Yeah.
most of the mid game and late game, I don't know how to define it properly, but like it's a gut feeling. Like I know kind of what to do better than in laning.
There's there's a lot more like micro decisions and efficiency in the early game of Dota, while
Yeah.
the later stage is more like macro and like team fight oriented in moves, and I could see with the way you think that you would you would generally play the later stages a bit more confidently because there's pretty much always something to do. minute like 25 plus. I'm just watching here.
Well, usually around this time is when I start thinking, okay, time to drop towers. So I'm going to look for excuses to either enable my carry or offlane or mid to drop their tower. For the
Okay.
most part, lately has been working, so I don't have any questions there.
Yeah.
Um, but sometimes the question is like, who should I go help first? Like, and I don't know. I mean, I know there's some degree of importance of this carry having their opposite tower drop because then that gives them space to farm. But at the same time, sometimes the other tower is the one that is lower HP, so I don't know which one we should take first. Sometimes it's just the carry doesn't even want the tower to be dropped because they want the lane to be that way. I don't know.
Okay. I see what you're saying. So I have notes now. I'm kind of deeming this portion of the game 12 to 15 minutes of the game. For you, if I told you I'm highlighting 12 to 15 minutes into the game, like what's the significance of that window to you? Like what comes to mind?
Of what? What's the window?
12 to 15 minutes.
12 to 15. For me, the significant, like what I said, dropping towers. That's one. Also checking if we can get the XP shrine
Okay.
because it's at 14. And generally speaking, trying to see whether we need to whether I need to do something more, like warding or smoking. Like that can change depending on the situation.
Okay. I'm really curious. You know, I don't mind having the session go a tad longer to ask this to chat. Does anybody know what the major significance from this is kind of a leading question, but for you guys, what's the major significance of the 12 to 15 minute mark? I'm curious if anybody's on the same wavelength as me here. I'm looking at both YouTube and Twitch. Come on, guys. Anybody. You guys got 30 seconds. And then
Give me one. What? I'm gonna use those to get water. Be right back.
yeah, use that. Go ahead. First team fight, 14-minute wisdom. This guy is chill. Okay. Looks like we're looking at the 14-minute wisdom in the first team fight.
All right, I'm here.
Okay. So I'm gonna give you a little bit of a lead here and see how it plays out. So people here mentioned the wisdom rune. Somebody said the first team fight. You've been talking dropping towers. You even said yourself getting the wisdom rune.
Mm-hmm.
My question is, how are you getting the wisdom rune? How are you taking these towers? How are you taking team fights? Please tell me. Like
All
with
right,
this exact
so
situation in this exact game.
yeah. In this game, I knew that we were not gonna be able to get the wisdom because there was already someone there, Wyvern.
Yeah.
So I thought, okay, let's try to either pick off Wyvern or push the lane into the towers or like signal that I want to get the tower.
But how do you get the tower? Like
By in my opinion, like we need to be more than just Drow right now because Drow is not like geared to drop an entire tower just both of us. Maybe a third.
scale of 1 to 10, how
Um,
good is the enemy D push? Like to defend towers? Like wave nuking,
uh,
long range clear.
Generally speaking, is very good.
Okay. So how do you get towers if they have long range clear?
Um, I mean, I have a few ideas. I don't know if that's what I was thinking at that point. But to follow the exercise, I would probably ward so that I know at least who's coming in. If I cannot ward, then I would try to set it up in such a way that they come to us and then we can make maybe take a pick off.
What I'm saying is
Uh,
they have long range, Rubik Fade Bolt, Wyvern W and Q, Sniper Shrapnel and attack range. So what's my team gonna do if we try to push a tower and they just nuke the wave?
Nothing. Not
So when I
much.
ask you, how are you getting towers? Do you see what I'm getting at here?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not giving you a specific answer. I'm just like spitballing of what I would do,
Yeah.
not knowing necessarily if it's right or wrong.
Yeah, what I'm saying though is when I think of you telling me you guys are getting towers, I'm thinking, how the fuck do you get towers against that lineup? They have two really beefy guys, Abaddon and Undying. Like, if they have heroes like Abaddon, Undying, Tidehunter, Underlord, heroes that like stand in front of the tower, like these are heroes I call wall heroes. They just
Mm-hmm.
kind of stand in a spot and it's really hard to boot them out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then the number one way to defend towers is a wall hero plus long range nukes.
Mm-hmm.
So their lineup is insanely good at defending towers because they have 2 walls and 3 long range nukes.
Mm-hmm.
Nukers. Like,
So what can we do? Honestly, I'm not. I don't really have an answer for that. One idea that is just coming to my head is sometimes drawing attention to one side of the map so that somebody else can go to the other and drop that tower. Sometimes that works, but
okay,
I don't know if that's the right option
I've
here.
got a question again then. I'll give it to chat and you at the same time. If they've got long range nukers, how do you kill the tower?
I mean, uh, we don't.
You
I don't know
kill the
if
long
you're.
range nuker underneath his tower.
Ah, okay, I see. Yeah.
So, how does your lineup kill a long range nuker under his tower?
Sneaking from behind, probably. Like I don't see any
Specific
other way. Or
initiation, item, hero, follow up, kill.
yeah. Axe with dagger coming in battle. Sorry, the taunt. I forgot the name. And then we follow up with that.
Fantastic. So, when is our condition for taking a tower reliably?
Can you say that again?
I'll answer it for you. I asked, when's your condition for taking a tower in this game? You just answered it. It's Axe getting a blink dagger.
Mm-hmm.
So why is 12 to 15 minutes relevant? This is the period of the game where cores get their first 2 to 3k gold item.
Mm,
So if I look
true.
in mid Invoker and I see that he has a Midas, tells me a lot about what he's going to be doing. If I see he's got bots, very different. If he's got a fucking Kaya,
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, great. Like, I don't know what that really does for Invoker, but he's got a Kaya. So if I'm wondering what's going to happen at this stage of the game, I need to check this item on all of my cores. This guy's going Yasha. What does a Yasha mean? That's
Fair.
probably not really fighting, right? That's more of a farming accelerator, right? This guy's going Blade Mail, no blink. He's even got a Vanguard queued up after this. So what are we doing for the next 15 minutes or 10 minutes?
Farming.
Yeah.
Or waiting until they get
We're
their
hitting a
timing,
lot
so.
of creeps.
Yeah.
So when you guys talk to me about 12 to 15 minutes, I think it's important that we understand, yeah, there's wisdom shrines, yeah, there's towers, but like, I just need to know what your team is doing. What is our team gearing up to do? Our teammates are communicating to us what they plan to do in this game. This guy's planning on hitting more creeps. This guy's planning on hitting more creeps. And it's not like this item's super obvious, but it doesn't tell me he's going to go do something. You know what I mean? It's not like...
Yeah. It doesn't really signal like, hey, let's go kill stuff.
Yeah. So when you... And then I'm thinking like, when I walk up to a tower, what's the enemy's hero they're going to put there? And like, what spells are they going to cast? And what do we do about it? You know what I mean? Like, so in this case, I'm just thinking like they have a wall hero plus a long range nuke hero, and we have no way of killing the long range nuke hero, so we just can't take towers.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why I'm drawing attention to, it's much more about what is your team doing? Like, how does an exact play work rather than what the actual play is? So it's like, if we recognize, oh, we can go kill somebody with this item, or we can go take a tower with this item. But like, a lot of times what happens, I've noticed, is that people kind of have this default of, we're kind of supposed to kill towers, we're kind of supposed to kill Roche, we're kind of supposed to fight them. And when I ask them the question, how, like, that's where the problem comes.
Mm-hmm.
So what I've noticed is that generally the best thing to do is to default to kind of doing nothing in the game, meaning just playing for efficiency, farming. Objectives don't fucking matter at all. Like, just default to that, where you're like, okay, what lanes are getting farmed? Should I be finishing my own items? And then in the meantime, while we're doing generically efficient things, like picking up bounty runes, farming camps, clearing waves, we can check for information from our teammates about when we're going to go do something. Like, when is this going to change? Okay, this guy's got a blink dagger queued up, and then I communicate this kind of stuff to my team if I can. That's the ideal. I would even just look around and say, hey guys, we got a bunch of farming items. Let's just play it set passively and avoid fighting them. Like,
Yeah. I don't you cannot see chat in replays,
yeah,
right?
you can't, yeah.
Because what I was actually texting here, I saw Axe farming back there. And within my intention of like let's drop the tower, what I was writing and like, hey, it's okay if you farm, but like can you farm closer to us? Like we need you in the lane or we're gonna need you in the lane, something like that I said. And I did not check his items though. Like but maybe that was the problem, that I didn't see that he was like still farming for that dagger.
That makes sense. Yeah, because, I mean, the thing is, if you're eyeing getting towers and you don't have a way to get them, any communication you give in the game is not going to be helpful, to be honest. Like, it's just not. Because you're thinking about
Mm-hmm.
accomplishing something that's not accomplishable. Um, so, like,
Yeah, maybe that's another. One of the things that I have been starting to notice is that, like, as a support, I become active pretty much immediately, and I tend to lose regard of like what's the status of my cores. Just because I can do stuff, it doesn't mean everyone in the map can.
hmm. Yeah, I mean, as a support, you're more of an enabler of your cores. Very rarely are you the guy that catalyzes the plays.
Yeah.
Um,
Uh,
yeah, so like I just want to show you real quick. You guys literally killed 4 heroes, walked up to the tower, and look what happened.
yeah, yeah.
Right? We need you to know that before you do that.
Mm-hmm.
So that in this case, you guys get the kills, and instead of going for the tower, you just like walk through the twin gate and like set up on this tower, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Like set up another play with Invoker, maybe. You know, like you're. But the last thing I want you to do is go walk at a tower that you're not going to get. Like that's what I don't want you to do. And I say walk at this tower just because, like, you can assume when they're respawning that they're going to go to the place that you just were, or they're going to separate. That's like almost always what they do.
Yeah.
Right. So cores get first two. I'm just going to put let their items communicate to you what is possible and what is going to happen in the game. Focus on not forcing objectives. You have to be able to describe how that will happen in order to make any call.
Yeah.
Just don't make the call unless you know exactly how it's going to go. Just don't make the call. Just observe. Like, just be like, oh, he's farming Blade Mail. Like, if I feel confident that him going Blade Mail and Invoker going Kaya and Drow going Yasha means we're going to farm, then make that call. But if you don't even know what that means, that's fine. Just don't make a call. Like,
Right.
that's the biggest thing is that if we make a call, I've noticed that, like, I will make, like, in my case, it's more anxiety. Like, I will make anxiously driven calls where it's like, I'm nervous we're losing the game, or I'm nervous like something's gonna bad's gonna happen. Like I do this too, and so what I do is like my reaction is to say more because I'm panicking. But the
Yeah.
one lesson I've learned over time is the less I know, the less I say. Just
Yeah.
the best thing we can do, if anything, is say like, "Hey guys, I don't know what our timing is. What's the vibe?" You know, don't say it in a way of like, "What
Yeah.
the fuck are we doing here?" It's more like, "I don't know. I don't know what
Yeah.
our timing, guys, is. What's the vibe here? Are we farming?" Like,
Yeah.
I want to get better at that myself. I'm not the best at it. But like doing that vibe check kind of question. Like, I don't know what's going on, guys. Are we good farming? And then if, you
Yeah.
know, maybe Axe will say, you know, or maybe Invoker will say, once I get Atos, smoke me to Sniper. You know, maybe he'll say that, but
Well, to be honest, most of the people in my games don't text back a lot. Like they usually just don't
that makes
explain
sense.
what they want to do, even if you ask. So I try to read either body language from the heroes or just items and stuff.
Yeah, and I think what might be happening, because you're telling me you try to read their body language and items, but you're not looking at Axe's items, right? In the game.
Well, I did not in this case. Yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't.
And what I'm saying is, you know to do that, but there's X percentage of the time that you're focused on getting stuff done rather than doing that. Do you see
Mm.
what I mean?
Yep.
Like there's X, like you know to do that, but you're not doing it all the time. So then that becomes the discussion of why are we not doing it all the time if we know
Hmm.
that's the good thing. Um, so for me, um, I'm just drawing attention to that there's a lot of times in Dota nothing's gonna happen. There's a lot of times that nobody has a plan. There's a lot of times that you're not gonna know what the plan is. And in those cases, do less, not do more. Patience is a virtue in these cases. We just need to not I simply just need to not, but it's like we need to make sure that we don't basically catastrophize nothing. Like, oh, we don't have any towers at minute 17? Sometimes it happens, you know?
I mean, I'm totally fine if that would be the case and things are sort of even. I usually panic when I see our towers are down, they are totally up, and we are still not doing anything. That's but it didn't happen here, so I'm not making a reference to that. But
Hmm.
sometimes that happens, and I start like, okay, time to get shit going. Like,
I feel that. I mean, sometimes that's also the case, though, where there's absolutely nothing you can do and wait for a timing. The rule still applies, even if it's. I recognize it's very difficult to have that composure, but it still applies, in my opinion. Like, even if the game feels like a disaster, if you can't tell me what to do about that disaster, then just don't do anything.
yeah, I wrote down like no action is better than bad action,
Yeah,
so
there you go.
it's a
If there's
yeah,
one takeaway for your session today, it would be that for sure.
yeah.
Um, because I think you guys end up winning this game, and there's a lot of things that have been going pretty decently in the part that I'm watching now. Like in this mid game, you guys have been getting some crucial kills. You're playing around people. This kind of sucked a little bit, but
I mean, for the most part, honestly, I think we won this game just because of the negligence of Wyvern and Undying. They were like pretty, like gung ho jumping into us thinking they would win, and we won every single
mm,
fight. And from there, we snowballed.
I see. I see. Okay, so we've got about 10 minutes. Would you like me to finish this game, or would you like me to go to the next one?
Mm, well, I don't think we have enough time for the next one, but I did come with a question that I wanted to ask you. It's completely outside of the scope of
That is
what I
perfectly fine.
initially asked. Yeah. So, like, well, finally, I accumulated enough role games that I can constantly play four, because otherwise I would play like 4 and 5, and usually I get five.
Mm.
But now I'm figuring out, and I want to start with a statement and then see if you like agree with it or not.
Sure.
Because I've been questioning myself, like, what is the difference between 4 and 5? Because a lot of in this bracket, a lot of people play four as five anyway.
Yeah.
And from my experience, is I see five as the babysitter of the carry. Like that's not really changing very often. But I do, and this is my own definition. Like I see position four as the flexible support. Like you do whatever is needed at any given point in time, or your lane, or your whatever. So like by that definition, usually I don't go with a predefined idea of like I'm gonna get these items. Like maybe I have an initial idea, but I'm totally willing to change in depending on how the game progresses. Do you think that definition is accurate to what a four is, or is there something more specific that I should know?
I like your definition. It's not because I think it's right or wrong. I just think like I can see why you would come to that definition. Um it's not the exact way I see it. The way I see the way I've best tried to sum up the difference between 4 and 5 is that 5 is more about deterring aggression while 4 is more about creating aggression.
Mm.
Or like 5 is more about preventing plays while 4 is more about making plays. So that's why, I think it's very dangerous to have like an Oracle 4. Like that's an
Mhm.
example. Witch Doctor's more of a 5, but because he has really good follow-up to playmaking potential, he can be a 4. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
it's not like egregious for him to be a 4. But like heroes that I don't think are 4s are Oracle, Warlock, Largo,
Yeah,
uh
heroes that are meant to
yeah.
be on the back, just
Ye
protecting and stuff.
Yeah, and so heroes that can catalyze plays or at least offer more damage to the play would be 4s, and heroes that are generally harder to walk into are 5s.
Hmm.
So usually 5s are like either melee shield guys or they're like ranged slow guys.
Hmm.
While 4s are more melee bruiser types, like they actually get in there like Tusk, Shaker, Earth Spirit, stuff like that. And then or they're like ranged nukers.
Hmm.
Like Hoodwink and Rubik and stuff like that. Um
I see.
so that's how I view 4s and 5s, and I do agree that the 4's role on the map and stuff is a lot more dynamic.
Mhm. No, I
Um
mean, yeah, it makes total sense. Like what you said, also, these are very common patterns that I start seeing more and more now. Like as a four, I see that I have more kill potential than the five. I also see me doing more plays as a four than as a five, and I also see that my hero is allowed to scale a little bit better. Like
yeah.
sometimes if I'm allowed to, I'm like buying items to either kill more or like be more aggressive.
Yeah, for sure. And then maybe at your
Okay.
bracket, you might need to consider being more defensive as a 4 sometimes when you have a 5 that's building like a 4. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I fully get it. One of the things that I've been liking about Witch Doctor is the buff they gave to the healing ward. So sorry, the W, because the like it's worth it now. Like it doesn't spend that much mana, so as soon as you get it, you can start activating it, and it lasts for like longer than an entire fight. And if you mix it uh with the urn, you can actually like from 50 to 100 someone in like few seconds. Like I really like that. So
Mm. Yeah, no,
I
I mean,
mean
I think healing
I'm
supports are
liking it.
pretty
Yeah.
powerful right now. I have seen a bit of Witch Doctor creeping into my games, so it makes sense. He does feel really strong at deterring aggression and stuff, and just
Yeah.
having a strong landing phase. And then obviously later it is an AOE heal, so that's nice as well.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, no, absolutely, I could see that. I didn't even know they buffed this W mana cost. That makes sense though.
Yeah.
Cool. I mean, that's funny they nerfed
Yep.
this and buffed this, so that makes him better in my brackets. And like people usually cheese with this kind of shit, so.
Usually I would avoid getting the restoration and just going for stats in the beginning because it was so mana intensive that
Yeah,
if you
for
didn't
sure.
have enough items, or it would force you into getting ether with like ether lens, which I don't necessarily like every single time.
Hmm.
But anyway, I mean, I find myself being more comfortable with Witch Doctor lately.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I can see how this buff would be pretty significant. I'm looking at
Yeah.
it. The numbers are definitely way nicer. Um, but yeah, man, no, I think part of this whole package is that with your follow up replay, I want you to have like a clear, actionable thing to submit it with. So
Yep.
for now, let me just think here. What's the best way that we can like actionably have you apply the whole like no action's better than bad action um sort of deal? What's the best way we can have that for you? Is there something that comes to mind immediately for you that would be like a good
Yeah,
check-in
I have
from?
my own method. I mean, I have it written down in all caps in a post-it, and I have it next to my monitor. So like when I'm playing, I will have that as a reminder. I did the same with the map checking. Like I had the same thing, but like check the map, and then that becomes a habit. And once it's a habit, it's just like you
Okay.
know applying it.
Yeah,
That
so you
works
have a
for me. I don't know if yeah.
go ahead.
No, I don't know if there is like a more generic method for everyone else, but for me that works.
Okay. Um Sweet. Then I'm going to focus on when you send me a replay, just tell me like in your submission kind of tell me how you feel about how often you made plays that were out of like how in tune you were with why you were making the play rather than meaning why as in like what the intended strat was, like what heroes were going to do what. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Yep.
Okay. I want to see
Understood.
because I think that's a big cleanup for you because I think your brain is already thinking about a lot of things in the game. So we want to redirect that focus a little bit towards, okay, I understand like objectives are good and team fights are good. What is the exact formula for this? And if I can't come up with one, then let's just not doing anything. And that kind of plays into the no actions better than bad action. So, sweet, man. Any final questions?
Nope, that's all. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Cool, man. I enjoyed the session. Have a good one.
See ya.